Hello, my name is Shelley and welcome back for another episode of Victoria 3 as Mexico. In previous episode we managed to make Colombia into our dominion, so they should be starting to pay us quite a bit. Actually, we're already getting a little bit of money, it's not too bad, but also, while our market grows now, it will also mean that their situation will get better and we'll get more money out of them as well. But now at this stage we can just start improving relations with them. I don't want to annex them or anything like that, we just, want them to be part of our glorious empire. We're getting a bit of more paper, chemical, and, okay, a bit of farming as well. That's going to be quite nice, although, fertilizer, there we go. The fertilizer use is gone down drastically, or at least a little bit. The price is still pretty high, though. We also need a lot of tea, but we can't really... Actually, let's have a look at tea. Where could we get... Okay, there's a little bit of tea in Brazil, and of course Africa. But, the demand for tea is actually fairly small. You know what, actually? What we could do is we could import that, probably from the British market. Oh, Russian aristocratic revolt market. Right, so the British market, it would be actually fairly bad profitability, so I'm not going to bother with that one. Is there any other good trade routes? Oh, unproductive, right, so the paper is probably not needed. We could export some sugar. Who would buy that? Americans would buy a lot of it. That would give 600 tariffs. It's not a lot of money, but it's better than nothing, and it means that the profitability of the buildings is going to be slightly better. But now we're down to 19.3 million. I think we were closer to 20 already before the war. But now we're building a lot of industry, so it will be fine over time. And how is the iron looking? We could definitely use a bit more. I mean, we've got an iron mine underway, but we could probably get another one in there. Or is there iron mines over here or in our capital? In our capital, yes, we could get another one in there. Let's just drop one there. Do we have the railway underway? We do. The infrastructure demand is fairly high though, so we'll probably need a second railway there already at this stage. But there we go, we've been advancing or expanding quite nicely. Curriculum disagreements. On a 10% chance plus 20% time, or one setback. We'll work out the differences. It's at least not going to reduce anyone's approval of us or anything like that, so we should be fine. The infamy is slowly going down. Oh, right. I don't suppose we can, First of all, Oregon. I'm going to declare you as a rival, just for the heck of it, so we'll get a lot more influence. And then Prussia. You were very helpful in that, so I'm going to improve relations with you. And hopefully we can maybe use Prussians again for some other war. So, if I were to declare war on Venezuela, I'm not going to do that yet. I could potentially call in Colombia. I'm not entirely sure if they would join, though. I presume that I could potentially call them in. Could I? I suppose I can't get alliance with them or anything like that because they are Dominion. And they are rebellious at that, but I suppose it will slowly get better. I mean, they view me as a natural enemy, so that doesn't really help. Poor relations are also pretty bad, but we got the subject relationship, so I suppose once the poor relations is over, it's not going to be quite as bad. We're also making a decent bit of money now, so we did get up to 2 billion in debt, but we're now slowly paying that back with the investment pool transfer. We could use a bit more universities, though. Let's get one more level in our capital. I'm sure that more qualifications over there would not hurt. And we've got a lot of gold mines underway. Well, it's going to take a while before we get to that one. We're using the investment pool 20,000 per week. So overall, well, we have increased the amount of construction that we do, so that is putting even more stress for it. But at the same time, once the GDP starts growing again... Ooh, gold discovered in Guerrero. Down here, there's a gold field. We got 2 gold mines today already, but that's good. Even more gold income. Plus, all the gold mines that we're building, once they are done, that is going to be a massive amount of money. The capital has a bit of low market access. Iron price is really high right now. Paper and tool prices are relatively high as well. But the paper mills, we've got a few levels already in here. We could probably get another level for it. And how's the sulfur price? It's not too bad. I'm going to build another sulfur mine, though, just in case. For future use, anyway. We're getting another paper mill in Oregon as well. But that is coming along very slowly, admittedly, because there's still a lot of turmoil. Although it's not quite as bad anymore for the construction efficiency. School organization. Okay, minus 10% success chance, more interest group or political strength for the clergy, or we take another plus 20% time. I'm going to take the plus 20% time. We want to build a secular school system. So 3 more weeks for the paper mill, and then some weeks for the railways. Another motor industry in Veracruz, and then we'll get an iron mine. Oh, gold depleted in California. Well, that didn't take too long. Actually, it was not in here that we had the recent discovery of gold, to be fair. It was down here, and that is under or in use right now. So it's the... Radical numbers are going down slowly. But it's not really all that effective yet. We've got 11.3 as our standard of living, so that's at least kind of going up. I think it was... Yeah, it is been going up. I mean, we are, of course, getting a lot more industries coming along and all that, so that definitely helps. So chemical bleaching, that is not... Oh, right. Well, we could probably get the distillation then as well. And then after that, we'll go for some military stuff. I think the shell gun is going to be done before that. We'll go maybe for the percussion cap, so we can get the munitions plant. And then we can go for the general staff to get the skirmish infantry to get a bit more effectiveness for our troops. Right, and we tried to improve relations with Russia. Suppose we could do that again. Keep them somewhat on our good side for the time being, anyway. So, Oregon, how long do we have truce with you? We've got truce for another 10 months. Okay, that's not too bad. So we could maybe conquer Oregon, and then in another war against Russia, we can take Alaska. Speaking of which, there's a lot of gold fields there. Also potential for whaling. Oh, and look at that. USA is now having their civil war. And it's, well, it's not exactly historical. There's actually relatively close at least some areas. Of course, Texas is not part of the Confederate States or anything like that. Let's actually have a look at the overview of the army. So, USA has 91 battalions plus another 200 conscripts, and Confederates have 72 plus another 69. So the USA definitely has a larger army, which is to be expected. I do wonder if anyone's gonna intervene in this war, though. I'm the only one that could join. Okay, I'm not gonna be joining that one. I'm not quite ready for it, but I'm hoping that... Oh, chemical bleaching. Unlock, there we go. So we can go for the glassworks and start making even more bone china. It requires a lot more dyes, but at the same time, it does increase the porcelain production a decent bit. Increases the shopkeeper employment as well, so that's going to be quite nice. Textile mills, I mean, the silk price is pretty high, so I don't think we can necessarily increase that too much. I suppose, actually, do we have interest... Yes, I could declare interest now, so if I was to declare one in Indochina instead, we could maybe get some silk bought from there for a little bit cheaper. Or a bit more profitable purchases in there, and that way we can then start increasing our luxury clothing production by just buying silk from there. So some of the nations in there will then have a somewhat reliable trade partner from us. Public schools, so either minus 15% bureaucracy. We got a decent bit of extra in there, although that is going to cost us quite a bit. Have we gotten any more... No, government administrations all are using the stuff there. I don't suppose we have... No, we don't have any tax problems. Engine shortage is pretty bad, but we are getting another engine or motor industries done soon. Right, so both of them are activating a lot of their troops. I don't know which one is going to win. If the Confederates stay on the defensive, they might be able to hold them back for a while. Oh dear. Okay, yeah, we're going to spend a little bit of money. There's some devastation, then, you know, we might want to take care of that. Because down here, yeah, it is devastated a little bit. It's actually got a pretty decent population size as well. So the sugar price is probably not very good. Is there livestock? Coffee could be quite good. Get a coffee plantation there. Provide a little bit more employment at least. Oh. Right, Confederates are importing some glass. Oh, and right, they started fighting in here. Let's see, so Confederates are going to be losing that defense due to lack of manpower, but over here, Battle of Cumberland, they are going to be winning, I suppose. Battle for Annapolis, they are going to be losing. They just don't have the manpower in there. But they managed to clear out at least the Indian territory, which, well, is not really good for the natives, let's just put it that way. I mean, war rarely is, to be fair. Ah, more gold discovered in Sonora, okay. Got gold mine there already, but sure, we can employ more gold, or people at the gold fields. So the gold income is pretty decent, and now just kind of observing what's going to happen in here. I'm kind of hoping that... oh, shell gun. There we go. We could increase our artillery production, I suppose, but I don't think I necessarily want to quite yet. Let's double check if there's anything over here that we need to do. Not necessarily. Development, that's all fine. Oh, right, we're getting another food industry soon. Ah, there we go. Now we've got 20 million GDP. We are number 10 worldwide, in fact. Oh, because USA has dropped quite a bit below, and then Confederates are a fair bit below as well. So we haven't quite surpassed Ottomans or Japan either. There's still about a 4 million difference. But we are, especially once we get the gold mines, I'm sure that that's going to start increasing GDP quite nicely. Also the tool workshops and all that, so that will help quite a bit. Okay, so the battle over here. Oh, right, there's a counterattack, but the American, or the Yankees, as it were, are going to be winning this defense. That's a massive combat in there. So I have a feeling that the Confederates will actually lose this war. Boys and girls. Debate over whether the new public schools should have separate classes of male and female students and perhaps different curricula as well, is causing disagreement over how to implement the new education system. Either we go for the 2 separate branches, or... okay, Catholic Church would be getting a bit angry, but I suppose we could reduce the time that it takes to pass this now, because it's going to take a long while still to get through all of this cumbersome bureaucracy. I think what we could do is get another government administration over there, just to get a little bit more of the bureaucracy back, so the tax base is going to be reduced. Okay, our trade route into America is inactive. Why is that? Oh, well, maybe they don't need nice anymore. We'll just cancel that one then. So actually that reduces the bureaucracy or the lack of bureaucracy a tiny bit there. Fractional distillation is going to be done very shortly, so that's going to be a lot more liquor being produced. Then after that we'll go for the percussion cap. There we go. So now if we go down here for the food industry, so it's going to increase the glass use a bit. It's not too bad. Reduce the grocery production a little bit, but a lot more liquor is going to be produced. And especially once we get to the triage, we do need some liquor for our armies as well. Oh wow, that was a massive battle. It went from 89 versus 66 battalions to 1 versus 2 battalions there. Oh boy, that must have been quite a... oh, but now the Americans are unable to perhaps get through there, or the Yankees are unable, or Union, let's just say. Right, so the leader of the clergy demanding that the government take a stance on prostitution with regards to the enforcement of laws that allow police to detain women suspected of being prostitutes in local hospitals on the grounds that they spread venereal disease. Now, I'd say that these laws are a bit inhumane. I don't want to reduce the standard of living. But I'm hoping that the public schools will go to the voting soon. So yeah, the Union is going to be losing the attack over here. I mean, it's kind of the problem over here. Like, neither side can really, strictly speaking, attack all that well. How is the iron situation right now? We are still lacking quite a bit. If we have a look at the members, so... okay, 2 biggest GDP contributors to our market are mine. But Colombia does have 2... the numbers 3 and 4 in there, although the difference between number 5 and those 2 is rather minimal. And it looks like the province over here could use a bit of extra boost. I'm going to build another port there, actually. That'll be fine. There we go, that's another gold mine. And now the GDP is already 21.2 million. I think we can reach 25 million, not necessarily this episode, but like before the end of the decade at least, or maybe in about 2 years' time. That's for sure. Political imprisonment. Jesus Musguis and his supporters have publicly petitioned a prison in Guatemala for the release of a pro-public school protester held there on charges of disorderly conduct. An economic success chance plus 10%, and political movement support. Sure, we'll take that one. Now we have a 44% chance of passing the law, so it will slowly get through. Central banking, a lot more minting and less loan interest rate. So now we're making almost £20,000 per week. Of course, we're still getting a lot more gold mines in here, so that number is going to go up further and further. Also, I suppose the coal demand is probably going to be going up as well. There's a decent bit of a lack of coal in there, so I suppose we'll just queue up another coal mine. We'll probably get another lead mine as well in here. How's the infrastructure? It's decent enough, so I don't think we need to worry about that one. Oh, there we go. Now we're making 20,000. I mean, I suppose we're paying only 2,300 for interest. That's actually very little. I suppose the petty bourgeois is very happy, so that doesn't cost us too much. And if we have a look at the other stuff, so the interest rate is only 10%. Oh, wow. Oh, because we are a major power. So that reduces by another 25%. I didn't realize we became a major power, but I suppose America might not be one right now. Or... oh no, USA is still a major power, and the Confederates are also a major power. But we managed to get a decent bit of prestige over time here. Right, so we've got a... if we have a look at our military, we've got 11 battalions in the Central America. We've got 2 flotillas in there. We haven't actually activated any of that yet. We could probably go ahead and activate or build a bit more military in here. That's going to get us to 15 battalions there. That's a decent increase in military again. It's nothing massive, admittedly, but it is slowly but surely we're improving the military. Of course, eventually we are going to get the... well, now we're getting the percussion cap, so we can then start getting munitions plants. And then after that, that's going to be... the general starts to unlock the actual infantry, and maybe we could go for the triage after that one. So we'll focus on the military tech for a little while. We do have another university underway, but that's still quite a while underway. How's the... okay, the investment pool is reducing, but it's now only 16,000 per week, so the speed that is going down is reducing, for sure. But like, I'd rather keep it somewhere around 2 to 5 million, perhaps. So there's a decent bit of leeway in there still to keep construction a little bit more, but at the same time, we don't want to drain it all the way, because then we are going to lose a lot of money. We should probably stop the... you know, we are going to ban the dueling. Landowners don't approve of that, but Intelligentsia certainly does. Foreign emulation. Successes the USA have seen with its policy in public schools have been noticed by supporters who point towards it as an example of ideal government. Landowners would hate that. We'd lose the extra influence, but that's not too bad. Enactment time minus 10% and enactment success chance plus 10%. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, we'll go for that one. Wait, do we have... oh, we do have an agitator. Right. Enact protectionism. Honestly, that's not a bad one to have, quite frankly. If we... well, once we get the public schools, we could probably go for the protectionism. Because let's be honest... oh, right, the 60%, right, that's coming in from the modifiers that we have here. But still, like, passing that one would allow us to pay less tariffs, or get a better tariffs for importing, and a bit less for exporting. Or, actually, no, it's the other way around. Well, anyway, it's going to make the trading back and forth a little bit cheaper for us. Although the amount of money that we gain might be going down. But now we're making already £26,000 per week. A lot of that is probably just minting from the... yeah, minting is 57,000 per... it's more than half of our income. Right. That's pretty decent amount, I dare say. And a lot of that is just gold mines. Right, so Colorado could actually have a bit more... well, I suppose we'll build a railway there. It'll be probably as good as it can. For the timing. The areas over here that are sort of disputed... oh, and... yeah, USA has won the Civil War. Or the Union won the Civil War, so that's no more. Until they get a second one, perhaps. Right, so how is Colombia's opinion of us? They're neutral, they're still rebellious, admittedly. But it's not quite as bad as anymore. I don't suppose there's any... I could bankroll them. That'd be... that would be increasing the relations at a pretty decent speed. We can afford that, yeah, we'll bankroll them. That's gonna allow them to expand their industry as well a little bit, which then means that we'll get a lot more money in the future. So funny thing, we are actually... oh, process of voting, good. So public schools is getting closer and closer to passing. And thus the clergy's political strength will be reduced quite a bit. Not actually fully yet, but it will be reduced. What about the public health... right, public schools. We don't have pharmaceuticals yet, so we can't do that one. Oh, and there's still... oh. Right. Can we import more? I know that we've got... oh, right, Vietnamese market would be quite profitable. We'll do that one. It does cost us a bit more bureaucracy, but that's fine. We got another government administration building underway somewhere there. I suppose we could also... was this one? Well, that's probably a decent population. Oh yeah, it is almost a million. Get another one over there. So slowly but surely we start improving the situation. But now at least the relations with Colombia should be going up very rapidly. We're getting 7% per day. So yeah, it doesn't take all that long for us to get to cordial relations at least, so that they won't be quite as upset anymore. Right, percussion cap is still going to take 3 to 6 months. But then we can get a munitions plant built as well. Ah, there we go. There's one of the iron mines that we were building. I think we already got one of them. We've got a little bit of silk shortage still, but I suppose right now it's not too bad, and since there's probably a bit more silk available, so if we go for the textile mills and start producing the luxury clothing on all of them, it might increase the cost right now, but that will then increase the amount of trade that we can do, or will be doing regards to that. So I think, oh, gold discovered. Spread the word. Get the migration in there. So we've got 4 gold fields in there. We had 2 already, I reckon, but get a little bit extra, which is not bad. It looks like tobacco has quite a good demand in there. Was it? Where was it? Over here is the opium plantations. I guess getting at least one over there wouldn't hurt. The Mexican dream. I'm gonna go with the less radical center of living decreases in there, because eventually those gold mines are gonna go down. It might be fairly rapid as well. Crusade for change. Momentum for free trade party. Or public schools get another 20% chance of success. I'm going to take that one, actually. Because that means that it's almost guaranteed to pass the law now. Before the election. Come on. 74% chance. Nope. Discord within the armed forces. Okay, we can get more support from them. I guess we'll take the 15% chance. So, okay, how much? We've got 115 days. So we might still pass the law right before the election. And then we can start working towards the protectionism. Which does have a decent bit of support. It's got the agitator. And rural folk are supporting it. There we go. We've got another railway underway in our capital. Actually, how is the... So in the market, silk is pretty bad. Fine art is pretty bad. Service is also quite lacking. Coal, we could use a bit more, but it's not too bad. Sulfur, we definitely need to get a bit more sooner rather than later. And more clothing industry. That's probably one of the things that we need to do. Let's get another one over here. And I'm guessing... Tuning workshop is making pretty good profit, so I'm going to build another one of those. We did just build another one rather recently. Oh, right, importing from Prussia has ended. Well, I suppose that saves us a little bit of bureaucracy in the meanwhile. And we have increased our research speed a bit further now, which is quite nice to see. So, hopefully we can pass the law, the public schools, and then we can start working on the protectionism. Although, if we have a look at the mercantilism, so it doesn't actually increase anyone's... So there's more tariffs on exports. Oh, right, no, it's on the no price. Yeah, so more tariffs on imports than on the exports. Protectionism, I really want to push that one. Because it just balances out for all the exports and imports. Ah, there we go, Procassion Cup done. So let's go... Oh, and the craze for change. I guess Free Trade Party can get a little bit more support then. So, where do we want to build another... I suppose we could build the... Since we've got the chemical plant over here, let's look at the munitions plant there as well. We don't really need the munitions plant too much yet, but I'm sure that we will have some use for it later on. Getting another paper mill in our capital. And then a sulfur mine, another gold mine. Oh, now we're making a pretty good money. At the same time, investment pool is still dropping in size. So we don't necessarily want to increase... Oh, there we go, public schools passed. So more assimilation, education access is still basically the same, but the Catholic Church's clout does drop a decent bit in there. So that's good. So that means, if we have a look at the election results over here, well, I suppose we can just wait 2 days and we'll have the election results. The Conservative Party is the winner, Free Trade Party is the second largest, and Liberal Party is fairly large as well. So if we have a look at... Oh, Free Trade Party is both intelligentsia and industrialists. We'd rather bring the petty bourgeoisie into the government. Stay with this one. I mean, yeah, I suppose staying with this one is still going to be a bit better. We could try to form a sort of a smaller government in there, but no, I think we'll just stay with this one. And I believe we can now try passing the projection. So we've still got a 45% chance of passing it. And there's no one really opposing it, which is quite nice. But there we go, we're making a massive amount of cash. How is our tax level, actually? I haven't... Oh, what tax level? I suppose it's a good question. Well, let's increase the funding over here, then. I forgot that we were on lowest taxes already. Right, well... So, in other words, we could have had even a lot more money if we wanted to. And in fact... Oh, there we go. Investment pool is increasing now. Oh, because we're building the government administration, which doesn't use the investment pool. The Washington flood. We'll put some money in there. But now we're losing a bit of money, in fact. Could we increase the taxes then? Yeah, we'll increase the taxes to low level. So it does mean that a bit more, or a bit less legitimacy, but it's not too bad yet. And it's done, well, I suppose that... Oh, the amount of radicals has dropped drastically recently. When we passed the public school. There we go, and the literary rate is already 31%. Closing up on 32%, so that's pretty decent. We are back to number 11 in the GDP though. If we have a look at the literature, so we are less than 1 million behind... No, 1.5 million behind Ottomans. Then after that, Japanese shogunate is not too far behind either. Well, of course, we're building at a decent speed. It could be definitely a higher speed as well. But since the investment pool is going to have some issues there regardless. Oh, the port is not counted in the investment pool transfers either. Huh. Okay. I think... We do have a construction sector already in there. We could maybe get one over here if we wanted to expand the... Especially the... Oh, actually, how's the... Turbo is still pretty high in there. So maybe not there. Does Texas have a construction sector already? It does not, so I'm going to get another one in there. It might cost us a bit more in the construction costs. But, you know, we can slowly start increasing the speed further and further. How is Europe looking right now? So Prussia is still looking pretty much the same. Austria is looking pretty much the same. So there hasn't really been that much happening in Europe itself. France is taking a little bit, or decent bit more. Oh, there we go. Protection is already into study. Britain has, both France and Britain have been colonizing a lot in Africa, as per usual. Oh, Gaza is... Okay. Interesting. Oh, Britain has conquered northern half of Madagascar. That I didn't expect. Oh, and France has started colonizing Kenya now that the Brits were kicked out of there earlier. Well, such life. I suppose another thing that we should do, though, is start building a bit more fleet. We've got a bit of room for naval bases in here, so we'll get a total of 3 into San Salvador. So we'll at least have 5 flotillas in Central America. It's still not enough really to do landings. Although, how strong is Ecuador? Just a curiosity, we've got... Well, okay, the relations aren't too bad. We've got defensive pact with Peru-Bolivia. Oh, can I not... Oh, that's a different area, okay. What about Venezuela? How much is your army then? 18.9? Or 18 plus 9, sorry. Why is the quality of those troops, I reckon? Oh, it's just really regular, so that wouldn't be too bad. Although landings are still going to be a bit of a problem, so we probably do need to get to at least 20 flotillas total. Or 20 flotillas over here in Central America before we can start doing landings in there. We're getting pretty good amount of money. We'll probably pile up a little cash so that we'll have ourselves like a few million again. We're going to have up to 4.5 million, so we'll probably go for like 3, maybe 4 million. And then we'll lower the taxes again. Even further. I mean, by that point, the investment pool should be already growing. I mean, it is growing right now, but that's partially because we're building the barracks and such. And the government administrations. Speaking of which, we are no longer losing the bureaucracy. Mexico City Citizens Association. Social club popular with the educated class has held a salon in Mexico City with Hezbollah speaking in favor of protections as an honored guest. Plus 10% success chance or... Oh, more qualification. No, I will take the success chance. Qualifications are quite nice as well, but I don't think we have a problem with qualifications in there, quite frankly. Not too bad problems, anyway. The steel mill is making... Well, it's making a bit of a profit, but we're not using the steel too much yet. We could build more smooth bores, but that would reduce the small arms that we have. Which actually, how are the military goods looking like? It's not too bad, actually. Man of Wars, we still got way too much. And the Silk, we still need a lot. Iron and lead, we also need quite a bit. So I suppose this one could use... Well, we are getting a lead miner there already. We'll also get another iron mine in our capital. Just so that we can build up all of that. And then focus on other areas a bit further. So we've still got 11.6 standard of living. So it hasn't really been going up all that much. But it is growing up over time at least. So it's not too bad. And I'm sure that that is going to start having a bit of an impact on the radicals and the loyalists. And it looks like Colombia is finally starting to maybe... Well, they're still rebellious, but the relations are cordial at least. But they're still rebellious. I suppose once we get them to even higher relations, then that's probably going to be fine. Because again, I don't want to be sort of a tyrannical over them necessarily. I just want them to be part of my market. And paying taxes to me. Which we're getting about 5,000 from them, but we're also giving 4,000 back to them, so we're only getting 1,000 pounds per week from them overall, but that's honestly fine. I'm not too worried about it. Although eventually we will stop that payrolling. But right now, you know, might as well keep it going. Right, so we've got all of that under... Oh, actually, we've got all of this. We could probably do the war against Colombia soon, although probably not in this episode, admittedly. Looking at the clock, but yeah, Oregon doesn't have a lot of troops. Russia might support them, maybe. Although we have been improving relations with Russia, right? Yeah, we're neutral again. We'll probably improve relations with them once again. Get that relation to such a point that they won't cause any issues. And then we'll conquer British Columbia from Oregon, which does have sulfur, coal, logging, gold. 6 gold mines there that are not being used. Oh boy. That is a lot. They're also doing a lot of trading in there, so that's going to free up a lot of workers once we conquer that, because we won't be doing quite as much. But anyway, we are out of time for this episode, so if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe if you have it already. Also got the links down below in the description, but other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.